have their successor, and how do you hand it over? By protecting yourself and also making sure that other family members was looked after and that the farm was going to be in good hands, handed over to the next generation. And it's a complex area. It's expensive. It's stressful. And I'm here to help to get you through that journey by saving money, saving time, taking stress out of it, and making sure that you protect yourself. Remember, there's probably 4 or 5 ways you can do it. You can hand it directly over from parent to child to a niece or nephew. You can lease out the farm and then will it at the end of your day. You can sell the farm if you have no successor, or you can just continue farming it until the day you die and let the next generation do it. And along with that, what some farmers do is that they make no will. As I was telling somebody the other day, a young man, his father died at 62 or 3, and no will, no arrangements made, and the place is in a mess. Hello, the name is Eamon Bray. I'm a dairy farmer from County Westmeath in Ireland, and I'm going to talk over the next number of videos on how farmers can retire and how can they hand the farm from you on to the next generation. But before that, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. As I said, my name is Eamon Bray. I live in Delvin, County Westmeath in Ireland. I'm a dairy farmer. I'm farming absolute for years now. I nearly forget how long ago it is. Well, I started farming in the early 70s as soon as I left school. That time, Ireland had just joined the EEC, and it was a very exciting time for farming. We were going through, agriculture was going through a huge change. On my farm at that stage, along with my father, we ran a small dairy herd. We had some store cattle as well, sheep, pigs. We had some cereals, and we were subsistent as well. We grew some vegetables and that for the house. I set about, along with my father, modernizing the farm and bringing it from that, we say, that old style of the 40s and, they were done the 1940s and 1950s and 60s into the new generation time. Started building milking parlours, silage pits, making the fields bigger, doing all the stuff that had to be done. Farmed alongside him for a good number of years, and we got on quite well. The same, any relationship like father and son, we had probably disagreements. He didn't want maybe is moving as fast as I wanted to, and they were maybe spending too much money and all the rest. So there was always a little bit of conflict, and you had to always debate, and it probably made you much more convinced that what you were doing was right. But certainly when somebody questions it, and the knowledge and the advice that he had for me that time as well was very, very important, and I still carry some of that advice today. In the early 80s, I got married, and my father then decided to hand the farm over to me, to the next generation. My father wasn't very good with solicitors and all the rest, and I had to do most of the work. The only time my father went into solicitors when he had to get some advice or sign some papers. And at the same time, my father was applying for the old age pension. So there's a lot of work, and I had 3 other brothers and 4 sisters, and I still had a sister living at home in the home place. So that whole context of my parents needing a house, my sister needing a house as well, or need accommodation, and myself and my wife needing a house. So there was a lot of moving parts and a lot of stuff to do. In my lifetime over the last 40 years, I was very much involved in farming politics, in IFA, Irish Farmers Association, meeting a lot of farmers. And the biggest issue with farmers was have their successor, and how do you hand it over? By protecting yourself and also making sure that other family members was looked after and that the farm was going to be in good hands, handed over to the next generation. I learned a lot of experience from that. And then 3 years ago, I started out on a journey myself of hand the farm from me on to my son Kenneth and his wife Cheryl. And it took a couple of years to do that. And again, going through that, I learned a huge amount from that. Remember, farmers, if you were thinking of retiring, you only do it once or you're handing it over. You only do it once, and you have very little experience in that whole area. And it's a complex area. It's complex, it's expensive, it's stressful, and it's costly. And the experience that I have gained and studied this topic over the last, I suppose, 40 years, I have always a huge interest in it. And the same was meeting with farmers, learning from other farmers, learning from various different professionals of the best way of going about handing the farm to the next generation.